Social media is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because you can reach the entire world with your message, and it's a curse because there are so many people that you do not want to reach. I know this will sound cliche, but my boyfriend and I have a couple's TikTok. We do funny challenges, dances, and anything trending, really. We actually have over 400,000 followers on our account, and it's doing very well. We posted a TikTok video about a couples therapy sketch that we wrote, and it was silly, really, but that video actually ended up doing about 10 million views. It was great exposure to our account, and we got so many positive and funny comments. However, we kept noticing thousands and thousands of comments from this one account by the name of Jimmy Boy, commenting very negative things about my boyfriend. He would say things like, "A gorgeous girl like you doesn't deserve a rad piece of shit like him," or "How much is he paying you to be around him?" I'm not complaining in any way, and I know that if you're on the internet, there will be trolls and people who do not like you. But this guy literally posted on all of our videos saying how much he wished my boyfriend was dead and how he would treat me so much better than he could. Well, weeks after our video went viral, my boyfriend and I were in our apartment. We were coming up with new ideas for our TikTok when there was a knock at our door. My boyfriend went to answer it while I stayed in the kitchen. When I did not hear anything for like 2 minutes, I called out for him, but there was no response from him. So I got up and went to the front door. It was wide open and my boyfriend was nowhere to be seen. I thought maybe he was playing a prank on me because that's something he would do and then post my reaction to TikTok. But that's when I saw blood on the front door handle. Now I knew this wasn't a joke, and I started frantically calling out for my boyfriend. That's when I got a direct message on my phone. It was a message from someone on TikTok. It was from Jimmy Boy. I opened it and it said, "I heard you're single." As I was trying to make sense of the text message, that's when I felt someone grab me from behind, and the person was clutching my throat and squeezing it with all their might. I remember thrashing wildly, trying to escape. The only weapon that I had was my phone, and I whipped it around as hard as I could, and it connected with the man's face. He stumbled, and then I hit him again and again on the head and the face. He eventually fell to the ground. I repeatedly stomped on his face, causing his bones to break. When I saw that he wasn't moving, I quickly ran out of the house and called the police right away, feeling overwhelmed by the disturbing aftermath. And I guess the story does have a happy ending. They found my boyfriend in the bush outside of our apartment. He was stabbed in the chest and the leg, but he survived and was okay. He has nerve damage, but I'm still glad that he's alive. And as for the intruder, it was Jimmy Boy. Jimmy Boy stalked our TikTok page until he found out where we lived. He tried to actually kill my boyfriend like he said he was going to in the comments. Now, he's in jail. My boyfriend and I are planning on making a follow-up video of what happened, and we will be posting it to TikTok soon, so be sure to stay tuned and stay safe. Last summer, I had just moved into my new apartment down in Jacksonville, Florida. I got my first big girl job, and this was the first time that I was never far away from my family and friends. Just when I was finally settling in and starting to become used to the change of environment, I was lying in my room one night just scrolling through some TikTok videos. It's probably not the best routine, but usually before bed, I would just scroll mindlessly through TikTok before my brain just shut off. Well, I was getting pretty tired, and I told myself that just a few more videos, and then I'll hit the hay. I was about to shut my phone off when I saw a very strange video. It was a video of someone filming outside of an apartment complex at night, but no music, and the caption saying, "I love my new apartment." This video caught my attention because, well, it looked like my new apartment. I rewatched the video like 10 times. It only had 4 likes and no comments. The more I watched the video, the more I realized that it was definitely my apartment complex and even down to my side. When I clicked on the TikTok account profile, there were only 5 videos. The first was outside of my apartment at night, and the other 4, well, I still cannot believe what they were to this day. The other 4 videos were of me sleeping in my room with the lights completely off except for the flash of the camera. The videos are of someone filming me while I was asleep with the caption, "Look how peaceful my girlfriend is sleeping." Terrified out of my fucking mind, I sprinted to my front door and made sure that it was locked. I made sure all of the windows were locked also. Then I checked my closets under my bed and in the bathrooms to see if anyone was here now with me, but it was empty. And I honestly didn't know what to do. So I called my dad and cried into the phone until I could finally explain what my situation was. I went to pull up the TikTok account again to send it to my parents. But when I did, it said that the account no longer existed. My dad, who lives in Pennsylvania, flew out to me the next day to spend the next week with me to make sure that I was safe and that nothing was happening. Since these TikToks, nothing has happened. I never found out who broke into my house or who made these TikToks. I now own 2 guns and a dog, and I do feel a bit safer, but I'd be lying to you if I told you that I was completely fine. In June 2020, a TikTok user with the username Henry decided that he and a few friends would use TikTok to record themselves going on an adventure. It was an adventure that was based on the popular adventure app Randonautica. Upon opening the app, Randonautica asks you to share your location, and then it will ask you to choose which type of point you would like to generate. Be it void or any anomaly before fetching coordinates using a random number generator. The user can then open that location in Google Maps to begin their journey. Randonautica's adventures were something of a meme at the time, and many other TikTok users were uploading videos of themselves using the app. Given that, some journeys had ended with some rather creepy occurrences. Henry decided to give Randonautica a try himself, and so Henry and his 2 friends spent their afternoon following a series of randomly generated coordinates around their hometown of Seattle. The keyword that entered on the app was travel, so the app pointed them in the direction of Alley Ave Southwest, a street right next to the shoreline of Elliott Bay. They figured the ocean was their final clue, but when they arrived at their destination, they found something disturbingly relevant lying on the rocks near the water. It was a suitcase, and in particular, a travel case. Like many people at the time, Henry and his friends were almost convinced that there was a kind of magic at work with Randonautica. Scores of other random knots have found the endings to their journey to be far too fitting or poetic to be purely random or coincidental. And now Henry was one of them, and he had a potential viral video to go with it. But Henry's video is about to go viral for considerably more sinister reasons. Because as they approached the travel case, they began to smell something rotten in the air, and the situation was about to take a decidedly dark turn. At first, Henry and his friends simply laughed it off, thinking it either came from one of them or from something washed up further down the beach. They continued to film the bag, with one of them prodding it a little before telling the others how heavy it seemed. One of the people in the video jokes about the contents being lost groceries, hence the smell. But after another makes a quip about the contents being cash, it's only a matter of time before one of the friends decides to open the case. But as soon as they do, the god-awful stench in the air becomes even more intense, so much so that the friends begin retching and gagging off camera. It was only when they saw the stuffed trash bags inside the case that they began to fear the worst. And after calling 911 and having some cops check on the travel case, the worst fears were confirmed. Inside the travel case were 2 dead bodies, one male and one female. Henry wrote that he broke down the moment he got home after finding the suitcase. He added that his laughter in the video was his way of trying to get through the situation, and said he has since then been unable to sleep. The TikTok video of Henry's morbid discovery earned him more than 15 million views and fueled the speculation that the Randonautica app was somehow cursed. Outside of paranormal speculation, a very real investigation was launched into how these 2 dead bodies came to an end, stuffed inside a travel case. According to a post-mortem examination performed by the King County Medical Office based on the state of decomposition, 35-year-old Jessica Lewis and her 27-year-old boyfriend Austin Winter were shot and killed on or around June 9th, just days before they were found. Police then set about questioning those closest to the couple, one of which was their landlord, 62-year-old Michael Dudley, who rented the top floor of his large home to them. On the night of the killing, neighbors reportedly heard a man yelling, "Please don't do this, just let me leave," before gunshots were fired. During his questioning, many of Michael's answers seemed inconsistent or cagey, and was overly nervous during the conversation when he apparently had no reason to be so. It was just enough for the police to focus their suspicions on him, and they quickly obtained a search warrant for the house that both Michael and the murdered couple called home. During their search, law enforcement discovered bullet holes in one of the walls, blood in the couple's bedroom, and a fresh coat of paint on a random part of a banister. When the police confronted him regarding their findings, Michael claimed that he had heard Jessica had somehow managed to cut herself and denied the bullet holes even being there. He was promptly arrested, then taken to a holding cell to await further questioning. There's been plenty of media speculation as to why exactly Michael Dudley would shoot the young couple. One source has suggested that the straw that broke the camel's back was their inability to make rent payments. Outside of that, there are plenty of skeletons in Michael's closet that suggest deep-rooted violent proclivities. One media outlet discovered a history of interfamiliar relations and carnal abuse when they came across an assault restraining order filed against Michael by his own daughter in June of 2018. Some court documents are said to have read, "My father indecently assaulted me for 9 years from age 10 until 18, forcing me to share a bed with him from age 10, 11 while he played adult movies on the TV. I don't feel safe in my home or leaving my home to work." His daughter also added that Michael had a very disturbing habit, a ritual in which he would take out his pistol and threaten to use it on her. Gina Yashka, Jessica's aunt, said she was close to her niece before she died. Gina told the media that her knowledge of Michael Dudley, more or less, lines up with the allegations made by her daughter. Sometimes he would break their cars so they couldn't leave. He would put trackers on people's cars, she said. Anytime we ever got in a dispute with anybody, he would tell them to leave but try to lock them in the house. But most horrifying of all, according to Gina, Michael had another disturbing tendency: cruelty towards animals that couldn't protect themselves. He killed a dog in front of them and left the carcass outside for 3 days to scare them, Gina continued. They had nowhere to go. That's why they stayed there. He beat this dog to death with a hammer because it got one of his chickens. He just left it out there for the other dogs to look at and sniff. He's a freaking psycho. She also said the loss of her niece, a mother of 4, and her niece's longtime boyfriend has all but destroyed their families. I don't want them to be remembered in a violent way. I want them to be remembered for their humanity and their kindness. I want to believe they didn't suffer, she said. Michael himself has been taken into custody, but evidence suggests that someone might well go unpunished for their involvement in Jess and Austin's murders. During the post-mortem of their dismembered bodies, the coroner observed that the slices and hacks around their joints were disorganized and appeared to be done in different manners with various devices. The police spokesman also mentioned that after dismembering his victims, Michael had apparently set about dispersing their bodies in multiple bags throughout various bodies of water. And given the time frame and placement of the bags, it is unlikely that Michael did this alone. This means that there could well be someone just walking around Seattle, a free individual who helped cut up and dispose of 2 innocent young people. A loving couple who could possibly have been executed over nothing more than a late rent payment. After his arrest, Michael's bail was set to $3 million, with the judge citing his willingness to commit horrific acts of violence. The process of dismemberment would have taken a lot of time and effort, and his willingness to take these extreme steps demonstrates the threat he poses to the community, charging documents read. It appears that Michael is indeed guilty of Jess and Austin's murder, and it's more than likely that he'll go to prison for a very long time. But it was TikTok that made them famous. Millions of people all over the world learned of such barbaric acts because of a simple video messaging app. Big tech companies like Facebook or Twitter might like to think that even so often, social media brings a little light into our lives. It seems that every so often, apps like TikTok can bring a little darkness into our lives too.